Hey everyone, so if you saw the most recent Money Mondays video, you saw what I had to say about personal finance and financial literacy in our schools. And that's something that I care a lot about. As someone who works with millennials and young professionals, I've seen too many people who don't understand personal finance or how the system works, and that's something that I want to change. So this survey was created by Annamaria Lusardi as part of her work at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. I'll put a link to the survey in the description below, but we'll do it right here together too. Now there's only 3 questions, so it should go pretty quick, and I'll stop for a second after each question so you can pause if you want and try to work it out for yourself if you're unsure of the reasoning. These aren't particularly difficult finance questions, but keep in mind that even among college graduates, less than half of people who took this quiz could get all 3 questions right. Also, these questions were designed for research for the Global Financial Literacy Excellence Center, so there's options for don't know or refuse to answer so people wouldn't guess to try to skew the results. But you can go ahead and guess all you want because we're not being scientific here. So question 1. Suppose you had $100 in a savings account and the interest rate was 2% per year. After 5 years, how much do you think you would have in the account if you left the money to grow? So the answer is more than $102. And if that confused you, then here's an explanation. The word percent actually means per hundred. So the word cent by itself is hundred. So you think a century has 100 years, or there's 100 cents in a dollar. All of that is because the cent is from Latin. That means per 100. So per cent is per hundreds. If you have 2% on $100, that's 2 for every $100. And you have $100, so you're getting $2 a year every year. So after 5 years, you're going to have more than $102 because you expect to just have $2 after 1 year. Number 2, imagine that the interest rate on your savings account was 1% per year and the inflation was 2% per year. After 1 year, how much would you be able to buy with the money in this account? Now this question is just trying to ask whether or not you know about inflation. A large part of our country doesn't really understand inflation, and that becomes a problem for older people who are living off of their retirement for years and years, maybe even decades. So inflation is just a fancy word for the amount of things that you can buy with $1 gets less and less over time. Just like when your grandpa told you stories about how everything cost a nickel back in his day, that's basically how inflation works. Over time, things cost more and more and more. People also make more money, but things are more expensive also. So basically, if we're making money on our savings and investments, we need to make more money than what inflation is taking away in order to come out ahead. So this question is saying that we have 1% a year in savings, but we have 2% a year being taken away from that by inflation. So after 1 year, we've had 1% growth, but 2% taken away, which leaves us with a loss of 1%. So our purchasing power is going to be 1% less than it is today. So question 3. True or false? Buying a single company's stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. So in my opinion, this is probably the hardest question for anyone that doesn't have a finance background. Knowing what a stock mutual fund is isn't the kind of thing that most people run into on a daily basis, and so if you don't have any experience here, don't feel bad, most people don't. So in financial planning, we like to talk about something called diversification. And that's where you buy a lot of different stocks so that if one goes down, hopefully not all of them go down at the same time. Some might go up, some might stay flat, and they're going to be all over the place. And so altogether, if you have a portfolio of multiple stocks, on average, they'll stay pretty flat. Some will go up and some will go down every day, and you're hoping that your portfolio over time will be less risky. Now, the math actually checks out here, but it's much more complicated than we need to get into in this video. Basically, one stock by itself can go up and down a lot, but if you have a portfolio of stocks, all of them going up and down at different speeds, you're going to be okay. I actually talked about diversification a little bit in episode 4 of Money Mondays, so go check that out if you're interested. So the answer is false. In general, one stock is not going to be safer than a stock mutual fund. So those are the big 3 financial literacy questions. Let me know how you did in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ArbogastAdvisors, or you can check out our website, arbogasadvisors.com. Thanks for watching.